Good morning and welcome to my presentation on andragogy and the need for professional development and training for adult learners. My name is Kaylin Stracer and I would like to start off by saying how honored I am to be presenting to everyone today. I would like to thank the school board members, the mayor, the city council members, our school superintendent, our central office administrators, all school principals and instructional leaders, teachers, parents, and other community stakeholders for attending today's presentation. I hope that you find this to be very informative. If you haven't done so already, please sign in to your Google account so you can access the presentation and follow along. If you can't find the link, you can type in the address shown on the screen, right here at the top. You will find my email address at the bottom of the slide. Please feel free to contact me at any time with any questions. I hope by the end of this training you'll see the importance of redesigning professional developments and trainings to better suit the adult learner. Let's get started. I'm going to start off with a quick 3-minute video on adult learners. You will find at the bottom of the screen a link to the YouTube video and the website that I originally found it on. I'll then click on the video, we'll watch a short clip. The definition of andragogy is the method of practicing of teaching adult learners, adult education. Let's take a look at this image for a second. As we just heard in the video, lecturing is a thing of the past. To reach adult learners, we need to tap into what they need to know, their experience and readiness, what motivates them, the orientation, and have self-directed instruction. Adult learning is all forms of schooling and learning that adults participate in, usually from age 24 and up. Adult learning and education is based more on student population instead of the content being taught. Let's talk a little bit about the history of adult learning. Since the 1970s, Malcolm Knowles is the main person who gets the credit for adult learning. However, there are several people who have contributed. The following link, right here, will take you to a very informative website that has a great chart of people who have contributed to adult learning. Feel free to check out that later when I email this presentation to you. In his book, The Adult Learner, A Neglected Species, he introduces us to the term andragogy and 4 assumptions. Adults tend to prefer self-direction. Adults' experiences are rich resources for learning. Adult learners' needs and interests are the starting points. Adults are competency-based learners. They want to learn a skill or gain knowledge that they can apply immediately. Adults have wants in 4 areas: to gain something, to be something, to do something, and to save something. Malcolm Knowles identified the following characteristics of adult learners. Adults are self-directed. They need to be free to direct themselves. Their teachers must actively involve adult participants in the learning process and serve as facilitators for them. Adults have accumulated a foundation of life experiences and knowledge that may include work-related activities, family responsibilities, and previous education. They need to connect learning to this knowledge, experience base. Adults are goal-oriented. Instructors must show participants how this class will help them attain their goals. Adults are relevancy-oriented. They must see a reason for learning something. Adults are practical, focusing on the aspects of a lesson most useful to them in their work. Instructors must tell participants explicitly how the lessons will be useful to them on their job. As do all learners, adults need to be shown respect. Instructors must acknowledge the wealth of experiences that adult participants bring to the classroom. If the learner does not see the need in learning the information, the instructor is simply wasting their time. The instructor must build a relationship with the adult learners and gain a sense of trust before motivation from the learner begins. We will now discuss 6 sources of motivation for adult learners. Social relationships, to make new friends. External expectations, to comply with instructions from someone else. Social welfare, to improve ability to serve mankind. Personal advancement, to achieve higher status in a job. Escape stimulation, to relieve boredom, provide a break in the routine of home or work. Cognitive interest, to learn for the sake of learning. We will now discuss 6 things instructors can do to motivate learners. Instructors should try to establish a friendly atmosphere. Instructors should stress the importance of the important material while keeping the stress level at a minimum. The difficulty level should be set high enough to challenge the learners, but not so high that they become frustrated. Specific feedback is needed. Rewards don't have to be physical. It could be shown by telling the learner how this knowledge will benefit them in the long run. The learner must be interested in the material and or outcome to become motivated. Let's check out another quick clip on adult learning. You will find at the bottom of the screen a link to the YouTube video. We'll watch the quick video and move on. There are a number of instructional methods and strategies to choose from when designing your materials. Case studies, role plays, and small group discussions help participants discover learning points themselves and practice skills used in interactions. Classroom training, lectures, and lecturettes present information when interaction or discussion is not desired or possible. Experiential learning lets participants try new concepts, processes, or systems in a controlled environment through supervised coaching. Games, tabletops, and simulations provide non-threatening ways to present or review course material and can be used to recreate a process so that participants can experience and manipulate the situation without risk and then analyze what happened. Projects and writing tasks help participants reflect on their understanding and allow them to work individually or in small groups with the content. Self-study allows an individual to acquire skills and knowledge through self-learning guided by structured materials. To establish a positive learning climate in social relationships with the learner, an understanding of the characteristics of adult learners is vital. When the instructor has a clear understanding of the participants, successful learning can take place. We will now discuss the 5 basic principles of adult learning and how it is tied to building social relationships between the instructor and learner. Leadership. Instructors can help learners acquire new knowledge and develop new skills, but they cannot do the learning for them. Experience. An adult-focused instructional approach looks at the experiences and knowledge that adults bring to the class. Appeal. I added motivation to this one because if something is appealing to the learner, they are more likely to be motivated in the learning process. Appeal and motivation can be improved by the instructor who provides clear instructional goals and learning activities that encourage and support strong learner interest. Respect. The instructor of adults must show respect for the learner by acknowledging an adult's learner experiences and creating a climate in the learning setting that shows respect is present. Novel styles, also known as different learning styles. The instructor must keep in mind that although adults have common characteristics as learners, adults also have individual differences, and most adults have preferred methods of learning. We are now going to talk about a few characteristics of adult learners compared to children learners. Children depend upon adults for most everything. Adults depend upon themselves, but might need assistance from others. Children see their major role to be the learner. How many times have we, as educators or parents, said, your job is to go to school, do your work, and learn? Adults see themselves as the ones that do. Most children learn what they are told to because they trust the adult teaching them that what is being taught is useful information. Adult learners, they want to know the relevance to them and what the value is to them. Children in the educational setting are similar. They're about the same age and have similar education levels and similar interests. Adults in the educational setting can be very different. They can all be different ages, different education levels, and have different reasons for furthering their education. Children and adults look at time differently. Children have time to spend on their studies. Adults have other obligations, so their time needs to be used wisely to ensure all their responsibilities are taken care of. Children have limited experiences to build off of, but they usually learn pretty quickly. Adults usually have several and different learning experiences to build off of, but usually learn slower. Children are usually open to new information because they do not yet have set views or opinions. Adults are more likely to reject new information that contradicts their beliefs. Children are often externally motivated, like good grades and praise. adults are often internally motivated, their own feelings of worth and self-esteem. Students acquire knowledge from many different sources. However, acquiring knowledge isn't the final step in receiving a quality education. An instructor's job isn't really completed until students retain the knowledge. For students to retain knowledge received from instruction, they must visualize meaning, value, and usefulness from the knowledge. This includes their ability to apply knowledge to their daily lives. There is a correlation between the degree of retention of knowledge and the student's understanding of the original knowledge, the amount of practice during the learning period, and the ability to apply the knowledge to real-life situations. After students demonstrate correct performance, instructors should encourage continued practice to maintain their desired performance. Let's wrap this presentation up with one more video on adult learning. You will find at the bottom of the screen a link to the YouTube video. You watch the quick clip. I'm currently working on designing a training for parents and stakeholders on using Google Classroom and Drive in the classroom. We have talked quite a bit about adult learning principles, but for this example, I'm just going to focus on incorporating adults' prior knowledge and learning and experiences. I've come up with a few activities to do so. You can conduct a needs assessment, ask for input, ask participants to share relevant experiences throughout the training session, do a KWL chart, what you know, what you want to learn, and then at the end, what you learn. Create peer sharing opportunities, carefully prepare guided questions, and then poll participants at key points. This can be done by a show of hands or simply using Post-it notes. The following is a section from the Effective Adult Learning Toolkit. This is helping me to outline my training. You will find the PDF version of sections A, B, and C of the toolkit in the submissions box. Section A helps me to outline the type of information needed to develop a course. What is already known pertaining to this, and what do I still need to find out? Section B helped me to determine the type of learning needed for an adult learner to attain the desired results. And Section C helped me to begin designing my training. I hope you now see the importance of redesigning professional developments and trainings to better suit the adult learners. In our school system, please check out the link to the short survey right there about what you thought of this presentation. All of your feedback is very beneficial to me. And then the final slide up here, you can find the articles, websites, PDFs that I used to gather all this information. And then I also cited all of these websites, PDFs, and documents. I want you to know that I sped through this presentation because I only have a few minutes to record on the screencast, but I hope you know that if I was actually presenting this to people, I would slow down, ask questions throughout the slides, and really focus on key points. Thank you for listening to my presentation.